Hi, everyone. It's Chris. I'm a content developer and project management specialist here at N2K Networks. I'm also your host for this week's edition of CertByte, where I share a practice question from our suite of industry-leading content and a study tip to help you achieve the professional certifications you need to fast-track your career growth in IT, cybersecurity, and project management. Today's question targets the CompTIA A+ Core Exam 1, which is exam ID 220-1101. This exam is targeted for those candidates who are new to IT and have about 9 to 12 months of experience, whether that's in the lab or in the field. I have my teammate Dan here to help us out again today, and as we've already established, after all, he is our captain of CompTIA. How are you today, Dan?
I'm doing great, Chris. Thanks for having me here today.
Absolutely. So we're going to turn the tables again and have Dan ask me today's question. But before we get into it, Dan, is it true that candidates should take the A+ exam first before taking the Network Plus and Security Plus exams?
Absolutely. It's highly recommended that you do that. Network Plus builds on A+. Security Plus builds on the content in A+ and Network Plus. So for anybody starting out in IT, A+ is the way to start.
Excellent. So while I gird my loins for your question, Dan, I understand you have a 10-second study bit for this test. What do you have for us?
So from helping lots of people go for this exam over the years, I've seen two areas where people have problems.
Okay.
Make sure you understand the troubleshooting process. Also, I would use a lot of flashcards to help memorize the ports and protocols.
All right, those are great tips. And we do have a lot of study materials to support this, so we will share where you can find those after this program. Okay, I'm ready for your A+ Core Exam 1 question, Dan. I don't know what to expect, so let's jump right in.
Okay, so here's your question.
Okay.
You want to set up a wireless network that uses the 5 gigahertz band. Which two wireless specifications could you use? And you need to choose two.
Oh, boy.
So your choices are 802.11n, 802.11ac, 802.11b, and 802.11g. So which two?
Aye, Captain. I haven't a clue. I'm going to need your help thinking this through. This is part of the networking objective and more specifically comparing and contrasting protocol for wireless networking. But where on earth do I begin? Can you please help steer me through this, Captain Dan?
Sure. This is one of those memorization things. If you Google 802.11 specifications chart, you'll see that there are many of them out there, and that's one of these things that you have to memorize. One thing to memorize is like the 802.11 and the N or the AC, the B or the G. What gigahertz range it runs in, there's only two, and what the bandwidth are. So if you were studying and Googling that, you would be able to pull up that chart. And it's one of those things, if you take the exam in person, you can actually write that chart down on the whiteboard that they give you.
So you can do a formula dump, as it were. That was a study bit that I shared with a previous practice test. So that would be a good thing to do, a prior study dump or brain dump before you take the exam, right?
Yep. As soon as you sit down, get all that stuff out of your head.
Okay. All right. So given this is a memorization question and I do not have that related resource at my disposal, I am just going to take two wild guesses of A and D, so 802.11n and 802.11g respectively. Am I anywhere near the realm of being correct?
Well, surprisingly, you might be surprised that you are half right.
Okay.
The correct answers are A and B. You can use either 802.11ac, which is commonly known nowadays as Wi-Fi 5, or the 802.11n, Wi-Fi 4, or the wireless N specifications. 802.11ac, Wi-Fi 5, that uses the 5 gigahertz range.
Okay.
It's reported as capable to go up to 1.3 gigabits per second, which is pretty fast. But to remain backwards compatible with 802.11n, 802.11ac includes protocol support for the 2.4 gigahertz band at speeds up to 450 megabits per second.
Okay, I'm sure this makes sense to most other people, so thank you for that. And you already told us where students can find that chart, so I appreciate you sharing all of that great information and for that brain twister, Dan. I see also from the CompTIA website that the A+ exam appears in more tech support job postings than any other IT credential. Can you share a little why you think this is the case?
Sure. A+ is designed so that you need to have 9 to 12 months experience either in the lab or on the job to pass it. So employers expect you to be able to walk into most general tech support situations and solve their problems. They might need only to train you on their specific systems, but the principles that are embodied in A+ are going to be your most valuable tools.
Okay, great. And I realize it's also really important that candidates know that they need, for the A+, they have to take both Core 1 and Core 2 exams to earn this certification. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. You always have to pass both halves of the exam. In this case, it's Core 1 and Core 2. And we have practice tests, training courses, and labs for both exams on our website.
Excellent. So thank you so much for being here today, Dan. Are there any upcoming CompTIA practice tests or courses you'd like to promote here?
Ooh, you bet. We got Cloud Plus coming out very shortly. IT Fundamentals has been updated and rebranded as Tech Plus, and we'll have that shortly. Pentest Plus towards the end of the fall. And the brand new Security X certification, which is replacing CASP Plus, hopefully by the beginning of the year. So we got lots of stuff coming out to update the CompTIA exams.
Lots of great stuff. Thank you so much, Dan.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining me for this week's CertByte. If you're actively studying for this certification and have any questions about study tips or even future certification questions you'd like to see, please feel free to email me at certbyte@n2k.com. That's CERTBYTE@n2k.com. If you'd like to learn more about N2K's practice tests, visit our website at n2k.com/certify. For more resources, including our new N2K Pro offerings, check out the cyberwire.com/pro. For sources and citations for this question, please check out our show notes. Happy certifying, everyone.